Hi, I am Louise Sawyer. I'm the Executive Director of the Learning by Giving Foundation.
And I'm Tavis Spezia. I'm the CTO of Learning by Giving.
So we want to thank everyone for joining us. I'm also feeling very short, so I'm actually on my tiptoes right now, for joining us. And we have to first acknowledge and thank Rebecca Riccio for not only bringing us together here, but for the entire conference. And I don't know about you, but I am completely excited by all the ideas and questions that are ruminating now because of the wonderful speakers. So thank you so much. So we also want to just give a shout out to our Learning by Giving Foundation team, which includes Alex Buffett-Rosick, who is our board chair, and Tevis, who's our chief technology officer, Saifu, who is here. How do you pronounce the last name? Ungto, who is our newly joined member of the team. He's our web developer. Jeff Piermont, our chief operating officer, and Mimi Kruger, who is a board member, who's here. So now, Allison, have people written responses to their prompt? They're in the middle of writing them. So they're blue pieces of paper, and probably we'll give you a little bit more time to finish writing them, and then we'll ask you to send them down the aisle.
So one thing is clear, and I think you guys have seen this today, is philanthropy is changing. It's not just for the older generation, it's for our generation as well. There's a lot of work to be done, and our country has tremendous social problems to tackle, and we need informed, skillful decision makers and leaders to tackle and help figure those out.
So all of the undergraduates here at this session, and those taking philanthropy courses all across the country, which through our program is more than 30. And all of those people in the next generation, your generation, who are involved in nonprofits currently, are evidence of both the power and the potential of your generation to be the next excellent decision makers and leaders. So the Learning by Giving Foundation really believes that you are the population and the people who are going to tackle tomorrow's and today's social challenges with intelligence, energy, and determination, and that you're going to bring to your work not only high expectations but high standards as well. In fact, I think that given the morning's discussions and panels, the challenge that all of you face is to think, to become futurists, as Janet Atkins said, and to think better and to think smarter and to come up with new solutions to the problems that we face. So that's the challenge before you, and I know you're all up to it. And now on to the videos. Before we watch the videos, we want to introduce our speaker, Dana. She is here. Dana Samuels. We're thrilled to have Dana with us. Dana is the co-founder of TUGG, come on up, Technology Underwriting Greater Good. And she's held the position of executive director since 2009. She also works as a fundraising consultant to local venture capital firms. Prior to TUGG, Dana was the investor relations director at Atlas Venture, a Cambridge-based early-stage IT and healthcare venture capital firm. And from 2004 to 2007, she worked at Cambridge Associates as a senior research associate, where she performed due diligence on private equity and venture capital funds. And she also held a variety of roles at Bain Capital and Bain & Company from 2000 to 2004. So join me in giving her a warm welcome. Thanks so much, Dana.
So I'll just kind of spend the next, 10 minutes before you guys get started just giving you a little bit of background on TUGG, why we started the nonprofit and how we operate. In late 2009, I was working at Atlas Venture, and we had just raised a venture fund. For several years, our venture firm and another local venture firm joined up to host a small wine party. So the idea was to get some local venture capitalists in a room together and to use that opportunity, use that forum to introduce a local nonprofit, and whatever funds were raised from the ticket sales of that event would go to that local nonprofit. So in 2006, in 2007, some small funds were raised and given to Year Up, a local organization here in Boston. I'm sure many of you are familiar with them. And then when it came time to raise this party in 2009, we kind of took a step back and realized that the interest was really growing in our community. And instead of just throwing this party once a year and just giving out one grant, why don't we try to create a nonprofit around it, whereby we're giving grants throughout the year around certain events that we throw for our community. So the idea was that some local VCs felt like a lot of the younger generation of venture capitalists and technology entrepreneurs weren't really giving back to their community in sort of a philanthropic and social sort of way. So the idea was to engage people at a younger demographic, so not those venture capitalists who've been in the business for 30 years and already have made their money and sit on the boards of great organizations like the ICA and the Museum of Fine Arts. And we wanted people to really use their interest in entrepreneurship and social innovation. Many people were kind of young company builders and great thinkers, so why not engage that community of people with local nonprofits and see what happens. So what we did was kind of create this platform, which is at this time it's very event driven. So we have this large wine party that we host every year. For the past 3 years, it's now benefited TUGG, and we've gone from having, in 2009, we had about 300 people attend the party, and we raised $70,000, and we gave 3 grants out that evening to some local nonprofits that support youth entrepreneurship and education. To this year, in January of 2012, we had a party of over 600 people. We raised $150,000, and we gave out 6 grants ranging from $5,000 to $15,000. So the idea is to engage our community with local nonprofits, but to do so in kind of a non-pressure environment where they're having fun, they're networking. And we've got people from local venture capital firms, large technology companies, startup nonprofits, and service providers in the industry all coming together. And so it's that community that fund our events. So we have sponsors who generally are donating between $5,000 and $10,000 so that they can invite 20 to 40 people of their choosing to our event. So some people use it as an opportunity to reward the employees of their companies, and some people use it as a way to network. We have service providers such as investment bankers, law firms, PR firms, recruiting agencies, all kind of mingling with technology entrepreneurs and venture capitalists. So people approach it from different angles. So when we're throwing an event, we really need to make sure that the content appeals to everyone in our community, and that we're inviting nonprofits that really resonate with our group. So, for example, the wine party we just had in January, we had 6 nonprofits come. They bring 4 people from their staff, and they're asked just to kind of work the room, get to know as many people as they can, and the idea is that they're trying to accumulate votes from our community. So after a few hours of people kind of networking, getting to know the nonprofits, they're asked, we're kind of very bare bones. We use poker chips and boxes. Everyone at the end of the night, after a few hours, they cast their vote, we close the voting, and we tally it up, and we announce the winners real time. We give out grants real time. And so everything is very collaborative and community based. So the same people that are funding this party, that are coming to the party, inviting their friends, inviting their colleagues, are getting to know these nonprofits and also casting their votes. So they're letting us know which of these groups resonate most with them. And so the idea with this is not just to give these nonprofits the opportunity to receive a grant from TUGG, but more importantly, to have access to a community of business leaders and entrepreneurs that they otherwise might not know how to access. So we kind of operate, I mean, we're not a foundation, we are a nonprofit, but we kind of operate in a similar way as like an early stage venture fund would. So we kind of take small shots on goal and see what organizations really resonate with our group, and those are the groups that tend to continue to get funding and support from TUGG, because that's kind of the results of the voting, and we want people in our community to be able to engage with groups that are interesting to them, that they think that they can be a useful resource for. And so those are the groups that kind of tend to receive subsequent funding from TUGG. We don't, whenever we meet a new nonprofit, we don't promise any grants, we don't promise subsequent grants. All we can do is promise the opportunity to really connect with a large community of thoughtful social innovators, business leaders, and people who are kind of growing up in this local technology community that are looking for places to donate their time and their resources. So, you know, we call it a crowdsourcing approach because it's the same community that's, you know, kind of keeping us in business. And people get the opportunity to engage with these nonprofits in any way that's comfortable for them. So if they want to buy a ticket to our event and, you know, they spend $50 and they cast their votes and they feel good about where that $50 has gone. And some people end up becoming board members. Some people end up hosting micro events for certain nonprofits. And some people become funders or introduce them to people that are interesting for them. So, you know, everyone gets the opportunity to choose how they'd like to participate on this platform. And at the moment, we are very events driven. We have 2 events a year. Like I said, our wine party in January, we had over 600 people. We gave out 12 grants. And I think for our community, we've kind of figured out a fun way to get the younger people engaged. You know, we're not that a sit-down formal dinner isn't effective and isn't a lovely time. It is, but that's just not, I don't think, what appeals most to our kind of young entrepreneurial crowd. So thinking about the people that we want to engage with these social innovators and really kind of help these nonprofits grow, we have to appeal to what's interesting to them. So that event has been hugely successful. And then last year we started another event called Tech Gives Back. And this allows people in our community another way to participate. So we've partnered with Boston Cares, which is an organization that helps corporations find volunteer opportunities for their employees. So what they've done, last year we started with 500 people from the local venture and technology community. So 500 people all volunteering on projects in and around Boston at the same time on the same day. We created this really cool social media campaign about it. You know, people were on Facebook and tweeting and all sorts of things. So it was kind of interesting for people to partner up with other technology firms or other venture capital firms in the community and to spend 5 hours just working hard and on anything from, you know, reading to students at the Mather School in Dorchester or painting the Gallivan Community Center in Roxbury. So just a variety of different things. And then after, you know, we had a party in a similar way that we do, and we invited 6 nonprofits, and the crowd, you know, they spent the night kind of talking about their experiences volunteering and then also getting to know the nonprofits and casting their vote. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we have one other event, one other program that's kind of similar to what you guys are doing here. It's called Youth Cities, and it's run by a local CEO of a local technology firm, and her idea was to create an entrepreneurial boot camp for young students. And then, so what they do is they go through an 8-week, every Saturday they meet for courses on what it means to be an entrepreneur, everything from marketing and putting together a business plan. And at the end, they have to come up with, if they're working teams, and come up with a sustainable business idea that has a positive social impact on their community. So, and these are kids that are, you know, 8th grade through 10th grade. So it's been really cool to kind of see these young people. I mean, I don't remember having an opportunity that young to really kind of think about my community and think about ways that I can give back. So that program is now in its third year, and the winner gets a $1,500 grant to kind of create their business, and they get resources from the TUGG community to kind of help them, kind of build their business, a sustainable business. Yeah. So, so I would just say, for TUGG, we're crowdsourced. We consider ourselves more of a social movement than, a nonprofit. And our goal to start was just to kind of mobilize a community of people who historically we felt weren't kind of engaging enough in the local nonprofit community. And I think, in 2 years we've been able to double the size of the kind of, we call them tuggers, in our community. And, it's been great. So thank you for having me. And if anyone has any questions, I'd love to answer them.
Hello, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am the Service Learning TA here for the Northeastern Students for Giving program. And on behalf of Northeastern Students for Giving, I would like to welcome all the students that are here from many different universities to discuss ideas and passions with Northeastern students and with all of the other professionals. So Boston University, Brandeis University, Framingham State, and SUNY Binghamton, thank you so much for coming on your far journey to the Northeastern Students for Giving conference. I'm also very honored to see professionals in the room, and I think we're all excited to show them what student philanthropy education is all about. And I'd like to thank Dana for her wonderful talk about technology and under the greater good, and the power that crowdsourcing really has in philanthropy. And last but not least, Louise Sawyer and Alex Buffett-Rosick and the whole Learning by Giving Foundation team for really making this possible. I know Northeastern submitted a video that you all see soon, and it was really amazing to hear from other students about their experience and to give a great platform to hear from other schools across America about what philanthropy education really is and the empowerment that it gave us to really create a change in our communities. And so now for the video contest rules. In a couple minutes, I'm going to have everyone actually move to the back of the room. I know that seems very counterintuitive since we just had you come up, but we need the video cameras to be able to kind of be able to see all of the small group conversations that you're going to have after we show the videos. So we'll be showing 5 videos from across America, and once we do that, we'll also be taking back the why give prompts, and we'll be handing them back to you so you'll get somebody else's idea of why giving is important. And that's kind of going to facilitate the discussion and the ideas that are going to pass around all of us. So again, don't sit with your school, and make sure that you talk to somebody who has had a vastly different experience through their philanthropic education. So once the videos are done being shown, we can all vote on our smartphones or computers on the Learning by Giving website, and we'll give directions once those are being shown. So if everyone could get up and move to the back of the room. Yes. Thank you very much. Well, yeah, once they're all set up.
But I can queue them up right now.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Hi, everyone. My name is Marlene, and I am a part of Northeastern Students for Giving. We want to thank you guys. Thank everyone for coming out. We're really thrilled that you guys are here. And so before we watch the videos, we wanted to take a moment to just kind of debrief and give different groups an opportunity to talk about some of the great conversations that you guys were having. So we're going to go around from group to group, and if you guys have any comments or any really interesting conversations that came up that you'd like to share, you can feel free to do that. And we're going to do it on the microphone. So does anyone want to go first? Yeah, no pressure. Okay, thanks.
Hi, my name is Amy. I am a Northeastern student in the Service Learning course with Rebecca, Riccio, and Allison. So basically what we've been talking about for a little bit is just the fact that as students we're really privileged, and just being able to get such a great education live in Boston and, you know, be on our campuses and everything, and how it's really important to just give back to the community. And it's sometimes easy to forget that when we're in our campus bubble, that there's communities right outside of us that are definitely in need of our, you know, volunteering and our help and just being out there giving back to the community. So that's kind of what we've been talking about a little, just being aware of that, and how like conferences like these are cool for awareness and talking to other students about what they're doing and whatnot. So I don't know, who else? Does anyone else have? Should I pass it on?
Well, we're also kind of like thinking and talking about the effects that that Northeastern itself as an institution has on the communities, and how kind of a lot of the volunteering that we're doing is because Northeastern has kind of pushed a lot of communities out and displaced them. So just kind of talking about what our impact is and how we can kind of like work towards mediating solutions that are helpful to the communities and I guess like come from what the communities want.
I think you guys wanted to go.
Hi, my name is Lauren, and I'm from Binghamton University. And my group, we first started talking about philanthropy, and it obviously is all really important to us. So our conversation quickly turned from, you know, what we were going to look for in the videos to our individual programs, and we each spoke about our programs and took away something else from each other to help maybe refine our programs, give our professors a new idea. So that's what we talked about, and just a really nice, engaging conversation about that.
Alrighty, who's next? I volunteer my group. Oh, okay, she was raising up her hand anyway.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Alana. I'm from Brandeis University. And our group, we also a little bit strayed away from the prompt, but we were also talking about how different our classes are and how they're really geared towards the university that they're in and the community that we're a part of. But just kind of our main idea of how taking this class has taught us that giving is a lot about not giving it from a top-down sense, but really understanding the needs of the recipients and how amazing the site visits have been for all of us, and that what other people are looking forward to on their site visits, to really get to know the community's needs and have that need come from them rather than us, because they know best.
And I don't want to put my group members on the spot, but we talked about something that was really interesting. Instead of why give, don't invest. So I was hoping that you could talk a little bit more about it, because I thought it was a really interesting concept.
Well, I wrote that on my sheet. Oh, hi. Is this working? So for me, I don't know if it's because I've taken like social entrepreneurship before I did this class, but giving kind of has a negative connotation for me, and kind of implies a passive role for the recipient. And we were kind of talking about how, you know, the difference between charity and investing, even, you know, not investing with the idea of getting an economic return, but a social return, and how both the donor and the recipient need to play a more active role in that, and how the attitude just has to be different. It's not about telling someone what they need and giving that to them, but working with them to better their circumstances, help them with whatever you're working on. But we were talking about how it's a difference in attitude almost, and that's where it comes from. Thanks.
All right, so which one of you groups wants to go? You guys, thank you.
Hi, I'm Kendra. I'm from Framingham State. Our group sort of got together and we started talking about the prompts, and we started talking about the videos as well, but we really focused on the differences that in our own classes and sort of what we've been able to take away from it. I'm personally really jealous of Northeastern's program you've got going on here, because for both of our universities we have a kind of one shot, one semester long process, which is obviously engaging the students and making people want more, which is a great program that you guys have that's really expanding, and I'm pretty proud to learn about it. I think it's a great thing you got going. And then we talked a little about why it's important to give and who benefits from it, and sort of the personal investment, and why it's important to continue to give, and what actually happens when you give. You feel good, and then the sort of pay it forward motion after that, and just, I mean, you can't go wrong. That's all.
All right, thank you. And our last group.
Okay, so we basically talked similarly to all the other groups about the differences and similarities in all our different programs. And then we started talking about difficulties in finding funding priorities and which ones we would choose, and because there's such a vast range of issues. And so how do you choose a problem, and how do you find the right organization, and which would be the most effective, stuff like that. So.
All right, thank you everyone for sharing, and I'm going to turn over the mic.
Thank you so much, Louise here. Before we show the videos, I'm a little nervous about it because the videos are all awesome, and the votes in this group will be determinative of which organization receives the $10,000 grant. So not to put any pressure on you. I wanted to say just a little bit about why we have this video contest. The Learning by Giving Foundation now sponsors philanthropy courses in the fall. It will be over 30 different colleges and universities across the country. We're really inspired by not only the wonderful professors who teach the courses, but by you and by the students who are taking them, and all that you are learning. And we decided to offer this video contest as an opportunity for you to show your peers and really the whole world what you've learned in terms of your philanthropic skills, your decision-making skills. So what we hope you'll do with your votes is to demonstrate your own philanthropic decision-making skills, and to look at the videos with a lens of what case they are making, what good decisions they are advocating that you make on behalf of the organizations that they are supporting. So you have a big responsibility. We thank the students who submitted videos so much, and next year our contest is going to be bigger and better and more exciting, but this has been a learning experience for us. So we thank you very, very much. You have big responsibility, and we look forward to your watching the videos. Anything else?